Hello and welcome to Voices of CML on World CML Day, the 22nd of September 2020. I'm Dennis Costello. I'm the Executive Director of CML Advocates Network. I'm joined here today by two of my colleagues as well, Celia Marin and Lydia Pekova, as well as one of our regional representatives, Elena Trigorovic, from the CML Association of Serbia. Thank you very much for everybody to take the time to join us today, just to obviously get together, feel as a community. Because of the whole circumstances around COVID, we've decided to have a series of virtual regional meetings. We started this morning, European time, at 8 a.m. with our Asian region, and that was a very lively discussion, and I'd like to thank our steering committee member, Rob Padua, for moderating that. So today I'm going to very shortly hand over to you, Yelena. It's the region of Central and Eastern Europe and Western Asia is actually the biggest region in some senses, in the sense we have the most members from that region, and obviously geographically it's quite an extensive region, going from from Poland all the way over to Kazakhstan. So you're going to tell us a little bit about what World CML Day means for you and for the region, and tell us a bit about some of the activities that you'd like to talk to us about today.
Dobar dan, dobro jutra, good morning, hello everybody from the Central and Eastern Europe region. My name is Elena Trigorovic and I'm working in this region and representing all the organizations in the Central and Eastern Europe. When I speak about my region, I always like to say that it is the most diversified region of all regions. We represent 34 patient organizations coming from 24 countries. In short, if I want to explain the diversity, I would say we have 11 non-EU countries and 13 EU countries. So if we put, again in short, we say different governments, different social securities, different health systems, and everything comes very differently. But then if we want to speak with each other and try to make it unique, we can learn from each other and we can share the knowledge we have. Because again, we cross the borders and we learn from each other. So I would say that my region did not come live today as much as we expected, because most of us are at work and most of us celebrate World CML Day with their own organizations having the meetings in the evening. But I know that all the hearts from all the organizations are with us and that they are sending us the strength to show how this region is diversified, but then again, how unique we are. 2020 was a very hard year for all of us. Again, if I want to put it in short, I would say it was a COVID year. This was not only hard for the patients who have challenged many different things, such as getting the drugs on time, getting their PCR tests, getting their appointment with their doctors when everything was closed. So it was hard for the patients, but it was hard for us as advocates to try to give them support and to organize as much activities, as much help we could provide them. So my first applause, to be correct, goes to all of these organizations who managed to help the patients in the best possible way. But then, when I want to be straight, then I would say that the biggest applause goes to newly diagnosed patients. These patients who faced leukemia for the first time in the period of COVID, when they had to deal with COVID and leukemia for the first time all together. And I think that these patients had the hardest time to get to the right doctors and to get the right therapies and to get the right monitoring. So I would say that we as advocates, if we manage to do it properly, we showed how important our work is for all these newly diagnosed patients who could not go to hospitals, who could not speak to the doctors as we usually do. And I think that what we did, and each of the patients who was newly diagnosed, who we gave the support, should get the applause, the biggest applause, and all of us working with them should get the applause for that. So I would really, really like to put again and to say how important this work is, and how that we actually, for the first time after the Glivet came up, can see some difficulties in our work and some new realities. And we should now be stronger than ever and show the support more than ever and learn from each other. So my hope is that 2021 will be easier for us, and that we can learn from the experiences we had in 2020. And then again, during this time, we would say, okay, we did only COVID, but we did not. We did other activities as well. For 6 months, we have been working on a very big project called CML Atlas of Central and Eastern Europe. This project lasted for 6 months, and during 3 months, beginning in December 2019 and lasting till March 2020, we managed to collect the data from our region. I would say for the first time in the world, such important data are summarized on one place for so many countries. We have managed to collect the data from 19 countries from this region, coming from six CML doctors from 6 different countries, and then also and 13 patient organizations. So if you go to Central and Eastern Europe region, you can see that we, on your left side, you can scroll and you can show. Can you please go to Czech Republic, for example? So you can search these data from general information, availability of medicine, cost of medicine, test availability, treatment-free remission. So you can go from a country to country and see all the data there, from the number of doctors, number of treating hospitals, number of patients in the country, number of organizations working in the country, from all the therapies which are available, the cost of these therapies, and the number of patients being on these therapies for 19 countries. And then again, you can use another search engine and go, for example, go to PCR or test availability and see how these tests are available in the whole region. I would not take too much time to go through the details of this project, but I think that we as a region must be and should be very proud of this project. And CML network should be proud of this regional project because they gave us so much freedom to do it the way we thought it should be done. And I think that this should be a good pathway for all other not only regions, but also for other organizations to try to do similar things. Unfortunately, again, we don't have many people live from our region, but we had 53 minutes of filming with comments coming from our region. I would say that my region is mainly not always to open for a lively discussion, but they are open to share their views and their opinions and their thoughts. Maybe we are not as open as Asia and Pacific because we never had regional meetings before, but I can say that we strongly support each other and work with each other and feel better maybe when we write. So as the closure of this live part, I would all like you to use all hashtags, use your own social media, write in any language you prefer, but celebrate this day healthy, in good spirit, and with good thoughts. Hug the people you love, and then again, give big greetings to each patient you have in your country with the CML. Now we would go to videos and see what people from my region want to tell you about CML in 2020. Thank you all for being live with us today.
Thank you very much, Elena, and thank you very much for everyone who's taken the time to join us today. Just before we go to the videos, I might like to give you an opportunity just to say a few words, if you wish. I see that we have Christina, Sofia, Mirjana, Jelena present. If you would like to say a word, you're more than happy to just raise your hand or unmute yourself and say something. Otherwise, I'm happy also to go to the videos.
Okay, sorry, I did not see how many people we have here, but my topic for today was how do you feel and where do you see CML in 2021? So I would be very happy if anyone from you would like to share their point of view. Mimi?
Thank you all for organizing this type of live streaming. It is very unique opportunity to be a part of this type of organization as CML advocates do. We are a very new member in your global network. What are the expectations for CML Advocates Network in the next year? First, I would like to say that I hope that in the next year the position with COVID pandemic will be ended. I hope till the end of the next year. Until then, we would like to ask from CML Advocates Network to do more for Central Eastern European part, since we do not have the same treatment and the same access as the Western Europe countries. I mean, especially for the non-European countries who always get the access to treatment last, or sometimes they do not get the access. So if is there any possibility for the Advocates Network to go together with us to the system institutions, or to do some plan what should we do in the future or in the next year to help Central Eastern Europe to get better access? Thank you.
Thank you. Christina, big hello to Slovenia. Can you please unmute yourself?
Okay, sorry.
Hi.
Where I see the CML in 2021, well, we have a good access in Slovenia to all the therapies. So I would like for our patients to be more aware about the meaning of rehabilitation, about supporting programs of our organization. And I hope as many as possible patients will attend our rehabilitation program, because it's really good for them, for their quality of life. So this is, I think this is our big goal for next year. How to spread the awareness between CML patients about the quality of life, about the meaning of quality of life, about the about the healthy way of living. So this is really important, because we see that maybe sometimes they are not so active as should be.
Do you need anything from the network to help you, from the region? Is there anything we can do to help you in what you plan to do?
Oh, I think that in this moment we don't need any help from abroad, because we just need the help from our doctors, because they are very important and they help us to invite patients in our programs. So we are doing on awareness between the hematologists about this program, and every year we are better and better. So I'm sure that you know, next year will be better than this year. So
Thank you. Lydia?
I actually have a question for Christina. Christina, how did you start that rehabilitation program? Did it prove very difficult with the government?
No, we prepared this program together with the hematologists and specialists for the rehabilitation. And then we introduced the program to our Ministry of Health, and half of the budget they covered with the funds. So they find out our program very good, very good for the patients. So I don't know. They decided to support with the funds. So
you didn't have any opposition, any difficulties with the Ministry of Health opposing it, or they were quite on board with the program? Is it just for blood cancer, or all cancer has that rehabilitation program?
Our program is only for blood cancer patients. But you know, for example, Europa Dona has something similar for the breast cancer patients.
Right, right.
Europa Colon for the colorectal patients. So Ministry of Health support not just our program, but also programs from Europa Dona, Europa Colon. They spread the budget and the money to different patient organizations. Not all who would like to be funded, but they found out they selected some of these programs, and then we got the money.
Because the message I got from a lot of our members around Eastern Europe is that rehab program to re-enter workforce and everything like that. Is that something that your organization can share as a best practice on how you approach that program, and maybe we can share it?
Yes, very important in our country with our negotiations at the Ministry of Health was that the program was made together with the Society of our Hematologists and with the experts of rehabilitation in Slovenia. So it was not something, you know, it was not, the program was made with the super specialists in Slovenia, and they were not able to say, it's not okay, it's not, I don't know, you don't have a good experts or something. We followed also the other programs from Mayo Clinic, for example. We find some good topics and implement into our program. So
fantastic. Fantastic. Thank you for sharing that. That's appreciated. That's something, you know, Mirjana can take back also for Macedonia. Thank you. I appreciate you sharing that.
If anybody is very interested in how to start with this project, I can, you know, we can have a meeting and we can share our experiences.
Thank you. That would be lovely. Thanks.
Christina, thank you very much for sharing this. I honestly hope that I would put it on top of my list to organize the meeting for everybody who is interested in this to to share your point, but you know the inside story. We want the inside story. Cool.
Okay.
Kalimera Sofia. Nice to have you with us. Can you
Use it? No, I'm okay. Hello.
You're okay now.
For those who don't know me, I'm Sofia Leonardo. I used to represent a Greek organization which was about all type of cancers. But now the last year I left, and I'm very interested to how to start my own organization, but only about blood cancer. So I could, I need all your help.
Okay, with all the knowledge you already have and us as a support, I'm sure you will do a great job. And anyway, we need a strong organization in Greece.
Okay, thank you.
Last but not the least, hello Stanislav, how are you?
My name is Stanislav. This Zoom is of my wife. Sorry, not my name on the screen. I represent a Russian organization Содействие. And I would like to say some words about my organization. We have in our big country about 85 regions, and each region is like a small country in Europe. We help about 8,000 patients with CML. Maybe you know we have all Russian federal program, 12 nosology, and now it 14 nosology. And CML patients and other patients with oncohematological diseases supplied free by medicine. And we have problem. We have problem that in this federal program we have only imatinib. And dasatinib, nilotinib, and other second and third line CML therapy is available in region by regional budgets. And we plan to hold our all Russian forum on the 1st October this year, and because there is concern that funding for the federal program may be reduced, we prepare a resolution for our health ministry and government, and would like to include in this program the second and third line of CML therapy, and would like to prevent the cut in the budget of drug supply in the next year, because you know COVID is maybe a cause of this reducing. And on occasion this CML World Day, I'd like to congratulate everyone, every sister and brother of blood, and wish be healthy, lucky, and happy. Thank you. Sorry for my English.
It's perfect. Thank you so much, Stanislav. If there is anything we can do to help, I will even speak Russian. So
I think if the federal program would be cutting, maybe we have help from our colleagues to appear by letters to our authority and health ministry, as we did it before.
Okay.
Thank you.
But you should be the one to decide when and what kind of help you need us.
Yes, of course.
Okay, just feel free to contact anybody of us.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody. And thank you, Elena, for chairing this meeting. Before we move to the series of videos, I just want to obviously remind you all that Horizons will take place this year virtually from November 6th until November 8th. So that's a weekend. We have shortened the program so that you don't have to sit in front of your screen all day. It'll just be 3 hours each day. So I think it should be fairly manageable, although it's obviously not ideal that we can't meet face to face, but obviously the circumstances are what they are and we have to deal with them. We just want to also say that it's because of it's virtual, it will be free for everybody who wishes to attend. So, you know, in the past, as you know, we've had the scholarships and all that, but this year it's going to be free for everybody. So we hope to have, you know, a good attendance and hopefully also a good opportunity to network with other patient leaders from the CML community during those few days. So you'll be hearing from Lydia probably in the coming days about how to register for the online platform for this year's Horizons. So let's go to some video footage that Lydia has been working on specifically with a colleague of ours as well, Justin, and cut together some interesting experiences from the region. Obviously, we kick off with a short message from our co-chair Felice Bombacci. This video is quite long, so it'll be available obviously online after this call as well. So feel free to stay here in the Zoom and watch the video. I'm going to share my screen now, and so therefore you will be able to watch the video here. Thank you again for your presence. It's greatly appreciated and look forward.
Welcome to Voice of CML. Shortly, you will hear from some of our members at CML Advocates Network. A few years ago, we started with only a few countries, but since then we have grown. We have 126 patient organizations in over 93 countries around the world. Every year, on the 22nd of September, we come together to raise awareness for the CML community. Unfortunately, 2020 has presented us with many new challenges. However, we continue to adapt. In this six-part live stream, we hope to give all those around the world the opportunity to come together and share their stories using the digital space. Today, many CML patients do not have access to life-saving treatment. Many CML patients do not have access to doctors. Many CML patients do not have up-to-date credible information on the very disease they live with every day. Our hope is to share those stories while also teaching and raising awareness for chronic myeloid leukemia. Today, together more than ever, for a life without CML.
Today, together more than ever for a life without CML.
Today, together more than ever for a life without CML.
Cool. Today, together more than ever for a life without CML.
Today, together more than ever for a life without CML.
Today, together more than ever for a life without CML. It is CML Day, and today, together, more than ever, for a life without CML.
Hoy juntos más que nunca por una vida sin LMC.
اليوم معا أكثر من أي يوم مضى لحياة خالية من سرطان الدم المزمن.
Today, together, more than ever, for a life without CML, mabuhay.
Hari ini bersama-sama lebih dari sebelumnya untuk hidup tanpa CML.
Aujourd'hui, tous unis, tous uniques pour une vie sans LMC. Today, together, more than ever for a life without CML.
Today, together, more than ever for a life without CML.
Today, together, more than ever for a life without CML.
Today, together, more than ever for a life without CML.
Today, together, more than ever for a life without CML.
Today, together, more than ever for a life without CML.
Today, together, more than ever for a life without CML.
Today, together, more than ever for a life without CML.
Today,
Together,
more than ever,
for a life without CML.
Today, together, more than ever for a life without CML.
Today, together, more than ever for a life without CML.
Today, together, more than ever for a life without CML.
Today, together, more than ever for a life without CML.
Today, together, more than ever for a life without CML.
Today, together, more than ever for a life without CML.
Today, together, more than ever for a life without CML.
Today, together, more than ever for a life without CML.
Today, together, more than ever for a life without CML.
Today, together, more than ever for life without CML.
Today, together, more than ever for life without CML.
today, together, more than ever for a life without CML.
Today, together, more than ever for the life without chronic myeloid leukemia.
Today, together, more than ever for a life without CML.
Today, together, more than ever for a life without CML.
Today, together, more than ever for a life without CML.
Today, together, more than ever for a life without CML.
Today, together, more than ever for a life without CML.
Today, together, more than ever for a life without CML. How has 2020 affected CML community? How can we work together for a life without CML? What's next for the CML community? The CML community recently came together to ask some of these questions. The following presentation was completed via online interviews and self-tape submissions from the CML community. We would like to thank those patients, advocates, and physicians who contributed to the voices of CML. Today, together more than ever for a life without CML.
The biggest challenge was, of course, the coronavirus. But fortunately, no CML patients
have been diagnosed with COVID-19. I think that the Ministry of Health of Republic of Macedonia, having in the mind the specifics of our country, has responded relatively well to the challenge. Also, the clinic for hematology was well organized. They working only with urgent patients, and the chronically ill received 3 months of therapy, so as not to be at risk when they are made the regular check. A special challenge was in March 2020, when the clinic for hematology ran out of nilotinib, Tasigna medication for about 20 patients. Normally, the main fault were bureaucratic procedures. During the period, our association had intensive meetings and correspondence with the Ministry of Health of the Republic of Macedonia and with the director of the clinic, and the problem has been solved directly from the director of the clinic and the Minister of the Health.
It's very difficult time in last half year or little more from Corona, when Corona started in the region, and all changed actually from our visiting to our doctors and daily living and everything. Actually, everything is different, and we are adapting in daily situation, depend of the situation in the country and the rules of the government, what to do, what not to do. We are adapting on that and making it in that way, working that way. So previously we did go monthly to the doctor, 3 months taking the blood, etc. Now we just coming to the building of the hospital, and for stable patient, nurse bring medical to us outside to avoid any possible contact with the corona. But for non-critical patient, for critical patient and with non-stable results, they are still going inside and with all how to say that, all measurement, following all measurement to protect himself and protecting the personnel in the hospital, and taking exam what is the necessary. We decrease all our contacts in our association, direct contacts, of course, contact with through the networks that is still active and even more active than in previous time.
So I would like to start with some main points which I want to share and stress around CML in Slovenia. So I would like to say that we started with TKI treatment in Slovenia in 2002, and TKI are available for all patients in Slovenia from 2002. Now in the market in Slovenia we have first, second and third generation of TKI, and also generic imatinib and dasatinib. We have excellent specialized hematology laboratory working molecular diagnostic for all Slovenian patients. Results are fast and accurate. And all patients are monitored by trained hematologists, not from GPs. Of course, also we have possibility of stem cell transplantation for those rare patients who need it. And in Slovenia, we have we published Slovenian recommendations for diagnostic and treatment of CML 2008 and also 2018. And now, what are our challenges for 2020 and beyond? Our challenges now are safety, efficacy, and good quality of life for our patients. We always put together our decision, doctor and patient, which TKI to choose regarding toxicity profile, comorbidities, the aim of treatment. Now we work all together how to do the strategy to maximize the possibility of stopping TKI treatment to reach treatment-free remission. And also what is all the time our challenge, how to educate or really strong working on that education for young hematologists, GPs, and also patients and relatives. But maybe I would like to stress also that we are working together with the Slovenian Lymphoma and Leukemia Patient Association on the patient support program, comprehensive care for the patient with psychologist, physiotherapist, and nutritional specialist. This is altogether what I wanted to stress.
Especially because of the COVID time, and actually nobody knew what to do. So according to it, we tried to do the best crisis management ever for our patients. So we managed to work with our doctors and to find the best way to give them the medicines they needed on time, and to stop going to hospitals whenever we could do it. The biggest issue was the newly diagnosed patients, and that was a big challenge for us and for doctors and for everybody. So I can say that we have worked a lot. We learned a lot. We learned from the doctors learned from us. And I think that now in the middle of the 2020, we can say that we have managed to find a way to work in the crisis which struck not only Serbia, but the whole world. But maybe what was the best in Serbia is that we had so many experiences working in crisis till now that maybe it wasn't the biggest crisis we ever challenged. But I'm proud of the organization I'm working. I'm proud of the people who are working with me. I'm also proud of the doctors, and I'm proud of all the patients who were ready to help each other when they really needed it. So I can say the CML community in Serbia is very strong, and that we can speak about it as a big family. So that was the biggest challenge when I talk about Serbia. But when I talk about the region, then I can say that the region also helped each other to work through these crises and to find the best information we could provide to each other, and that we can learn from each other and the experiences with people who faced COVID and people how they managed to organize their own countries to work in these difficult times. So I can say that 2020 was really challenging, and I hope that we will not have more challenges which are different than COVID this year.
The challenges of this year were linked to the restrictions caused by the COVID pandemics. We had to postpone patient conferences scheduled for March and April until autumn, and we have now organized the first one in September, framed by the World Leukemia Day. Hopefully, we will have chance to organize also in October and November. Our major projects of this year was filming an interview with Dr. Zhachkova, principal investigator of an academic multicentric clinical trial called HAF, which the protocol leads to lowering the dose and potentially leading to treatment-free remission. The clinical trial has started enrolling recently. Our second project was linked to COVID more directly. We have asked the doctor to prepare a document based on research in literature and also experiences from her clinical practice. for the management of CML patients during the COVID period?
During this 2020 was very difficult for all the people, not only for patients with CML and patients with hematological malignancies due to COVID-19 pandemic. Patients and caregivers with CML during March and April were dealing with an opportunity to see their doctors or to reach to their treatment, since a lot of hospitals were closed due to this pandemic. So we had to postpone our face-to-face activities, and usually we were contacting with our patients and caregivers through online media or by phone or by email. But still, people and the CML community and the patients with hematological malignancies got adapted very fast. And I think this will be our new future, depends on the COVID pandemic. So we will be forced to contact patients and caregivers through online media or by phone. It's a patient organization dealing with hematological malignancies and among them CML. The disease of CML, where our country is in a situation where patients do not get the novel therapies for CML as the patients in Western Europe and other parts of the world. We would very like for 2021 or maybe for the next year, patients with CML to get the same treatment and the same access of novel therapy as the patients in the Western Europe and other developed countries. That is our main goal for our patient organization, besides other activities that we do. So we hope that in the near future that could be possible.
So the main challenge that patients with CML had in Romania was the same at the other patients at global level, the COVID-19, because they were scared to go to the hospital to do their treatment, but they were also afraid to stay home and not do the treatment. So that was the main challenge during 2020. And what we did, we tried, as a patient organization, we tried to adapt to the new situation and to support patients as much as possible, to advocate for home treatment for patients, but also to implement new solutions for advocacy, for training, and for organizing groups of patients. So we prepared an online platform for patients with rare disease in general, including CML patients.
Well, in 2020, we had challenges mainly connected to new coronavirus. Since in Slovenia we are lucky that the basic challenges are actually overcome. So we are lucky to have access to all modern medical and other treatment for all CML patients in our country. And we also have very good network of specialists, of hematologists. And we are also lucky to have complete reimbursement for all our CML treatment. So we are now focusing on quality of life. Actually, we wish to improve the quality of life with our programs, which our Patients Association is conducting together with medical and other specialists. So we are mainly focusing on a rehabilitation program, which has 3 modules. And these are nutrition and psychological support and physical exercising for our patients. And our challenge this year was coronavirus. So we were faced to go online with all that, with complete program, and fortunately we succeed. So in spring, we moved all our meetings with physiotherapists, with nutrition specialists, with psychological specialists, and also with hematological specialists. We moved that to our computer platform, to video conference system. And then, it started to function, and the patients were satisfied. As soon as I know, they were sitting actually or exercising in their homes, connecting to that screen. And then, fortunately, because of national precaution measures, the corona situations improved a lot in summer. So in summer, we went live again with all the programs. But now, when the autumn comes, the situation is again worse about corona, and so we are planning to go online again. At that moment, it will be necessary. So that's our main challenge this year. Another goal is to improve connection to our patients online, because situations about new coronavirus can be also present in next year, and we would like to be connected to our patients, to have touch with them. So we are preparing and already started to carry out the education programs for our patients, how to use teleconferencing, video conferencing systems.
I think the main challenge in 2020 remains COVID-19 and the associated quarantine. We urgently had to change the traditional format of the regional schools for patients with CML and other hematological malignancies also. So we organized our regional school in more than 15 territories of our big country in the online format. These online schools were a great success. As they say, a blessing in disguise. It was a new successful experience which can be used in our future work as an additional option for the living meeting with CML patients in different regions of our country.
Well, first of all, we have to hope the epidemiologic situation will improve, because indeed with having the focus on empowering patients, that's very difficult to be done in the virtual world. And the connection among patient organization also is based on maximum of communication, and hopefully we will have an opportunity to have our meetings and conferences as we have had for many years before, since the CML Advocates Network was established in 2007 and I was one of the co-founders.
The main goal for 2021 is a modern, appropriate treatment for CML patients. Normally, this means that all 3 generations of TKI will be on the positive drug list. For each patient with CML, a mutation analysis should be performed on the basis of which the therapy is prescribed, and the appropriate medicine will be given according to the needs of the patients and not according to the availability of the clinic. Normally, this means a timely supply of drugs by the clinic of hematology without stress to the patients.
Regarding the goals in CML in Serbia, I would say that our biggest goal is to bring back PCR in all the institutions where CML is treated, which means that we have regular PCR tests, which we do not have at the moment. And we are strongly fighting for these PCR tests to be paid by the government and not to be the issue for the CML patients anymore. That's our first and most important goal for 2021. The second one is, of course, to have regular access to the therapists, and I hope that we will have more therapists available in Serbia, which are not just imatinib and nilotinib. And I hope that I will manage to finish the donations I have for ponatinib for 2 patients and to save these 2 lives. So it's about Serbia. Regarding the region, my biggest goal is to work very strongly and to provide as much therapies available in as much countries I'm working in. So first, I would love to see new therapies in Kosovo, and these patients there, they have the regular access to the therapies. I would love to see it in Macedonia. I would love to see it in other countries like Azerbaijan and so on. So still, East Europe goal is to have the access to the therapists. And then if I speak globally, of course, my goal is like all other parts of the world, especially Western Europe and the US, I would like to see the cure.
Our challenges for 2021 are focused on 2 things mainly. One is to improve access to our programs for our patients so that we would offer live the programs for our patients in all regions of Slovenia. Slovenia is a small country, but nevertheless, we have a lot of elderly patients who have problems to sit in their car and, let's say, drive 100 kilometers. That's our reality, because some patients would be very much more comfortable, or it would be more accessible for them if they had our programs near their home. So at the moment, majority of our programs are being carried out in Ljubljana, that's our capital, and in few other towns, let's say in Maribor, second biggest place, town, and Nova Gorica. Now we wish to cover more regions, so to come closer to our patients. That is one of our goals.
For 2021, our organizations intend to work very devoted to a national plan for cancer and to include the needs of the patients with CML into this national plan for cancer. For the moment, we are adapting and updating our national plan for rare disease and including the needs of patients with rare cancer into the national plan for rare disease. But we will integrate the needs of patients with CML into the national plan for cancer. That's our main goal for the 2021.
This is a current issue everywhere in the world and also here in Macedonia. We have several patients who are in the TFR phase. They have a regular monthly check, and so far everything is okay. I hope that this trend will continue and that the remaining patients in the Republic of Macedonia who meet the requirements for TFR will stop taking TKI drugs. Of course, with regular monthly checkups and supervision of our doctors.
We want to put more patients to treatment-free remission, to treat more patients very safely, with a good quality of life. We want that our patients with chronic myeloid leukemia can live normal life, can work if they want, can be together with their family, can have families, can have really good quality of life. And of course, for that kind of patient, treatment with TKI or stem cell transplantation or chemo, what they need, is not the only thing they need. They need also support, because if you have such kind of disease, like leukemia is, they need support from psychologists. They need support from physiotherapists, from nutritional therapists, because what I can see in my everyday work is that many people don't know how to live normal life. And this is not just for the patient, it means also for a lot of healthy people around us.
In 2021, we hope for strengthening the role of the patient society due to new healthcare legislation, which is now in the process. As a member of the Patient Advisory Board of the Health Ministry, we have also contributed to drafting the definition of a patient organization, which should be incorporated in the legislation.
Russia has a unique federal program to health nosology, which patients including chronic myeloid leukemia receiving imatinib, the generic of Glivec, for free. And one of our most important goals is to include the second and third line of CML therapy, such as nilotinib, dasatinib, and others, in this national program. And PCR molecular studies of blood and also bone marrow CML patients in our country pass free from the fund of obligatory insurance in some region of Russia. We want to extend this successful experience also in other regions where this is not yet.
Well, from our side of view, and I suppose on global level, the most important issues for the CML community, CML patients, to have proper access to novel treatments, because usually patients are afraid when they get diagnosed with a type of cancer as CML is. Though CML is a chronic disease which is treatable, so the patients should not be afraid of the diagnosis. But I think the basic stuff on a global issue is patients from CML to get a proper treatment and access to novel therapies. We need a better communication with the healthcare institutions, since here in Macedonia it all depends on politics, depends on which government will be from which party.
I think we should work together to make possible that the new therapies and treatments to be available to all the patients with CML in the world, and including the new kind of treatments that are in clinical trials now, like gene therapies, and to fight together for a better policy to integrate patients with CML into the society, and to make them have a full life. We should work together to develop policies that ensure access to a normal life for patients, and to look more closely to the problems that they have now, because more and more patients are cured for a long period of time, but they are not always integrated into society. So to prepare policies, social policies and medical policies to support their reintegration into society, it's the major objective for us, and also to ensure the equal access to treatment for patients with CML, to the new therapies, to the new treatments, and to answer to their needs, to organize advocacy campaigns, and to work together for these policies. But in order to do this, we need funds to create awareness campaigns and to train patients for advocacy, to be better, to represent better themselves, and to make contacts with journalists, with policy makers, and to all the stakeholders involved in this. So we need financial support to ensure these activities are implemented.
What is very important is that they have their own hematologist whom they believe, and that the treatment is safety, the treatment is efficacious, and that they can live a normal quality of life. I think that, and also that survival is practically the same like in the healthy population.
Give more information about leukemia, about rights of patients. That's why we try to organize different schools in different regions in our country. We must to be together and fight against CML.
Well, for sure, the patient organizations around the world are aware of the disparities ongoing in certain regions. There are huge differences. So trying to smoothen these disparities and somehow provide better access to CML patients is the next goal step. But for the future, we would wish to hope really for the cure of CML.
In my opinion, the CML international community must continue to fight for equal access to all type of therapy in different countries. And organization protecting the rights of patients suffering from oncological and hematological malignancies in their country need to create national program on medicinal maintenance of patients in need of expensive treatment.
What we shall all focus on, I think, maybe not next step, but bright future for us CML patients would be treatment-free remission for all CML patients. I think there is a lot of work for specialists ahead to reach that goal, but I believe it is possible, and I believe that all efforts could bring this to reality, that we receive treatment-free remission for lifelong. That's one thing. But there are still a lot of steps which should be done in a direction that every patient in the world, every CML patient would have access to treatment, to a very good treatment with which we who are lucky to get that treatment, we can live, we can work, we can enjoy, we can be with our families, we can exercise, we can climb mountains, we can sail, we can be happy with our children, grandchildren, some of us also, parents, friends, and that is not reality to the whole world. In a lot of countries, it is still a dream. So I think we should help the global community that we all come to that same level to have treatment. For reaching that goal, that our patients will be able to use modern technology to connect online, mainly also because of coronavirus and also because of regional or physical distance questions. What do we need more? So,
to give my support to all the CML patients that are handling with this disease, and also to their caregivers, and to tell them that CML is a curable disease and that they should not be afraid when they will be diagnosed with this type of disease, because with the medicine today and going forward, CML is a treatable disease and patient can have a good quality of life as other patients that do not have this disease.
The most important goal globally is, of course, and always will be the cure. We have very happy situations with the countries where PFR is available and where these patients attending PFR can be regularly tested and can be followed up and monitored by their doctors. Unfortunately, this is not the reality in Eastern Europe, Asia, Africa, Latin America. So we cannot be selfish and say that the only goal is cure. The other goal is, of course, to have a regular access and regular monitoring for all the CML patients. So me coming from the Eastern Europe, I'm always fighting for the cure, but I'm always fighting for access. And they know me for that, and they're always joking with me about that, but I still stand to my stand, and I say access first, and then cure and PFR, because we don't need to lose people because of no access, and then together we can work towards cure. And these two goals do not interfere with each other. They need to work together, and we need to work together on both of them.
Hello to everyone. My name is Pepo Levi, and I am president of CML Macedonian Association. In 2007, I was diagnosed with leukemia. In that period, CML Macedonia was not existing. There were no appropriate drugs and therapy for this disease. For that reason, together with the rest of the patients, at the time we established the Macedonian CML Association and started our battle. For these 13 years of our existence, we had many TV appearances, participated in many TV debates, we had press conferences, interviews, and numerous campaigns. All of this was in the function of animating the Macedonian public and making pressure on those responsible in the government of the Republic of Macedonia to provide appropriate medicine which mean life for the patients with CML. After much efforts, with the help of doctors from the Clinic of Hematology, we managed in 2011 to put imatinib on the positive list, and in 2017, through the Ministry of Health, we also managed to provide nilotinib, which since 2018 has been in a regular therapy for a certain number of the CML patients. Through the Max Foundation, Ms. Pat Gonzalez helped us a lot. We provided a donation from Bristol Myers Squibb of dasatinib for one patient, and the Clinic for the Hematology provided a donation of ponatinib for another patient. This does not mean that everything goes easy and without any problems. However, our association, CML Macedonia, is here and always reacted appropriately when is needed. In any case, 22 September, the World CML Day, is very important for CML patients and day when we should tell CML patient that we are here and he is also our large global family, CML Advocates Network, which give us great support in our efforts to find a solution for appropriate treatment and availability of adequate medicine for CML patients. Once again, best regards to all members of CML Macedonia and all members of CML Advocates Network. And remember, today together we are stronger more than ever for a life without CML.
We need patient society support because it is politically stronger.
I have been working in CML for more than 10 years. I'm coming from a country which is in East Europe, and I was leading the East Europe region for more than, I think, 6 or 7 years, officially or unofficially. East Europe region is very specific because of its diversity, meaning that we have many countries which are part of EU, which are actually, let's say, West Europe, and they work and operate as West Europe countries. And we have many countries coming from ex-Yugoslav countries and ex-Russia countries which are working in their own way, representing the real East Europe. This diversity means that I have learned that there are many things which are the same, but there are also many things which are different. So my advice for the whole community is to try to find some organization in some other part of the world which is facing the same issue as you are. Be open, write to the community, write to the regional leaders, not only of your region, but for other regions, because the biggest and the strongest thing that we have in this global community is learning from each other. If we face in East Europe some issue, we can be sure that somebody else has faced it in the West Europe in like 10 years ago. But in Africa, if you're facing an issue, you must be sure that somebody has faced the same issue in East Europe. So let's learn from each other and let's be open and not afraid to ask for help. And again, I really believe that the matter of the CML Horizons is something we should all stop. Be open, ask, let's learn, share, and grow together.
Well, I think it's always very important that the patients who have a long patient journey behind them, like me, I'm 18 years on treatment, they can somehow show the newly diagnosed some positive examples, how to cope with the chronic condition, and even how to cope with sometimes difficult situations. So this is an ongoing role all the time. Newly diagnosed patients are entering the society, and we should somehow take care of them, tutor them, and prepare them for living a good life, but in chronic condition.
I hope that in the future the politics will not get involved in health, because health is one of the healthcare system is one of the most important healthcare systems in every state. Also, our Macedonia country is a very poor country and needs a lot of funding and a bigger budget for access to novel therapies. I hope that in the near future our budget will be bigger to get to the patients the novel treatment that is available in Western Europe.
I think that the CML Advocates Network should continue to take care of the problem related to CML around the world, especially focusing on the CML patients from less developed countries. I welcome the commitment and the work done so far by the CML Advocacy Network, which has so far achieved great results. I hope that we will have future successful cooperation and support, especially now that we have a new challenge in COVID-19. In fact, our motto is, together we are stronger.
TKI, it means tyrosine kinase inhibitors. These are main drugs for chronic myeloid leukemia patients. The first one is imatinib Glivec from Novartis company, which came to the market in 1998 for patients who were treated in some studies, but for the whole society of CML patients, it came to the market from 2002 to 2004 in Europe. After some years, also second generation TKA came to the market. And what is very important from this point is that some patients don't work well in first generation TKI, and some of them, because of that, need a second generation and also third generation. And if nothing is working, then some patients need stem cell transplantation. It means that they need chemotherapy and then stem cell support to renew bone marrow and to completely destroy chronic myeloid leukemia in the patient body. Treatment-free remission. Treatment-free remission, it means that some patients, we don't know exactly which group of patients are those, but some of them, about half of them, have possibility to finish treatment after 5 or more years of successful treatment with TKI. But it doesn't mean that those patients doesn't or don't need any more hematologist. They need hematologist for the whole life, also in the future, because we never know in which patients or when the chronic myeloid leukemia can come again, can be in the bone marrow and in the body again, and so we need to check those patients each 6 months, or for the start each month, and then for the whole life to see if CML is again in the body, or they are still very good and healthy.
Я съм Глеб Калараш. 22 сентября е ден на подигнуване свеста хронична меланична лейкемия. Давам поддержку на новые лица.
Welcome to Voice of CML. Shortly, you will hear from some of our members at CML Advocates Network. A few years ago, we started with only a few countries, but since then we have grown. We have 126 patient organizations in over 93 countries around the world. Every year, on the 22nd of September, we come together to raise awareness for the CML community. Unfortunately, 2020 has presented us with many new challenges. However, we continue to adapt. In this six-part live stream, we hope to give all those around the world the opportunity to come together and share their stories using the digital space. Today, many CML patients do not have access to life-saving treatment. Many CML patients do not have access to doctors. Many CML patients do not have up-to-date credible information on the very disease they live with every day. Our hope is to share those stories while also teaching and raising awareness for chronic myeloid leukemia. Today, together more than ever, for a life without CML.
Today, together more than ever for a life without CML.
Today, together more than ever for a life without CML.
Cool. Today, together more than ever for a life without CML.
Today, together more than ever for a life without CML.
Today, together more than ever for a life without CML.
It is CML Day, and today, together more than ever for a life without CML.
Hoy juntos más que nunca por una vida sin LMC.
اليوم معا أكثر من أي يوم مضى لحياة خالية من سرطان الدم المزمن.
Today, together, more than ever, for a life without CML, mabuhay.
Hari ini bersama-sama lebih dari sebelumnya untuk hidup tanpa CML.
Aujourd'hui, tous unis, tous uniques pour une vie sans LMC. Today, together, more than ever for a life without CML.
Today, together more than ever for a life without CML.
Today, together, more than ever, for a life without CML.
Today, together, more than ever, for a life without CML.
Today, together more than ever for a life without CML.
Today, together, more than ever, for a life without CML.
Today, together, more than ever, for a life without CML.
Today, together, more than ever, for a life without CML.
Today, together, more than ever, for a life without CML.
Today, together more than ever for a life without CML.
Today, together, more than ever, for a life without CML.
Today, together, more than ever, for a life without CML.
Today, together, more than ever, for a life without CML.
Today, together, more than ever, for a life without CML.
Today, together, more than ever, for a life without CML.
Today, together, more than ever, for a life without CML.
Today, together, more than ever for a life without CML.
Today, together more than ever for a life without CML.
Today, together, more than ever for life without CML.
Today, together, more than ever, for life without CML.
Today together, more than ever for a life without CML.
Today, together, more than ever, for the life without chronic myeloid leukemia.
Today, together, more than ever, for a life without CML.
Today, together, more than ever, for a life without CML.
Today, together, more than ever, for a life without CML.
Today, together, more than ever, for a life without CML.
Today, together, more than ever, for a life without CML.
Today, together, more than ever, for a life without CML.
Welcome to Voice of CML. Shortly,